Now let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr. I agree with Max wholeheartedly. And I'm an LSU guy. But I remember coming out of college, Jarvis Landry being the better college wide receiver. And it was my little brother that called me and he goes, man, Odell's going to be a star. And I was like, but Jarvis is the guy. He's like, I'm telling you, mark my words. The night he catches the one-hander against the Cowboys, that's the first call I get. It's from my little brother. And so we're watching Odell Beckham Jr., and I'm looking at him and I'm saying, that's a Hall of Famer, period. Not he's really good, not he's an all-pro, that's a Hall of Famer. We got one player in the league that can do what Odell Beckham Jr. does at that position, and that's Julio Jones. He's the only one that strikes that type of fear, has that type of explosiveness, can get down and run the routes the way that he does and have that entire package. That's it. When you watch Odell Beckham Jr. on the ISO cam, he is winning in Cleveland. The quarterback can't get it to him. So what is happening is this is not just about trading Odell away so he's happy this year or something good happens this year. This, playing for Cleveland, playing with Baker Mayfield, even playing with Eli toward the ends of his career is going to ruin a Hall of Fame career. Not a good career. Odell Beckham Jr. is a Hall of Fame talent. He's not going to get there with this dude. That's how bad they are.
But here's the problem. You're absolutely right. When has anybody said that before today with the three of us? Think about that. How many, if it were other dudes that were perceived as likable or what have you, we would have been raving about this the whole time. We would have been highlighting the deficiencies of Baker Mayfield a long time ago, even more glaringly. We have given folks a pass because we want to sit up there and we want to look at Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, you forced your way out of New York.
No.
You know what? You acted this way in New York.
Let me tell you why.
It's because we were comparing Baker to Eli Manning at the end, who was even worse. Let me just say something quick about Baker, Ryan. I think his arm is good enough, and I think he's accurate enough. But those are not the most important things. The most important thing is the CPU. How fast are you processing information? I don't think he does that fast enough. And if you don't, then your feet better be quick enough. He can't outrun defensive players. He will never be an elite quarterback. He's okay. And so the best Odell has done is a guy who was cooked at the end of his career, Eli. By the way, look at the year Saquon Barkley had. Over 2,000 yards from scrimmage when Odell was there. And then a guy who's really a little below average in Baker Mayfield. Can we put him on a real team with a real quarterback and coach?
Are you and Molly going to sit here as New York Giants fan and just ignore the fact that the Giants said, we've got Saquon Barkley. Not only is he a phenomenal talent, but he's such a nice guy. He's a leader. He's the kind of guy that we want to influence the guys in our locker room and to justify pushing Odell Beckham Jr.
I killed them for that trade.
I'm just talking about doing it now. Because that's why we don't talk about him in Cleveland.
$20 million of dead cap money. The Giants ate it right after paying him to trade him for an offensive. This was an insane move the Giants made.
Hold up, Ryan. Let me just say one thing. But if we're in the camp of protecting free OBJ and getting our free OBJ T-shirts, is he better off with the Giants right now?
No.
And Daniel Dimes versus.
No, we're not saying that.
So here's the.
Okay.
Well,
the biggest problem
with Saquon,
Baker.
The biggest problem for Odell right now. The biggest problem for Odell Beckham Jr. right now, and the reason I agree with Stephen A. that we have to back him, we have to support him, we have to say these things, is because he can't. For the same reason Stephen A. was talking about the reasons he was pushed out of New York, and it was a huge reason why me, as someone who knows him personally, hasn't said it. Because I believe if I start to say it, if I start to push for it, it's going to be that old Ryan Clark knows OBJ thing. Ryan Clark's an LSU guy. He's getting this from somewhere. I'm not getting this from anywhere. Odell Beckham Jr. needs to be somewhere else. He can't say it. He can't do it because all of us know, no matter how we feel about it right now, if Odell Beckham Jr., if there's a rumor that he demands a trade, it goes right back to people mischaracterizing him and critiquing him.
In terms of Odell's maturity, think about this for a second. Maybe 3-4 years ago, he wasn't the same guy, right? But right now, is he saying anything? He's not.
Not a word.
He knows enough to keep quiet now. He is a much more mature player. He's been around the block. He knows how things work.
That's according to you. But what about the fact that he was in the New York market and now he's in the Cleveland market, so it's a little bit different?
All right. We got to leave it there.
I think
we're
he
like 2
transcends
weeks
market.
away from the trade deadline. Not that I think the Browns would do anything, and I don't even know what's the right move for the Browns at this
Free
point.
OBJ. Get him the
agreed.
hell out of there. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.